I want to go into This is Xbox because this week we had yesterday the new marketing campaign for Xbox. Now, a lot of us, including myself, have complained about the messaging and the marketing, and they don't do enough of it. Well, this new campaign, This is an Xbox, I think has taken the world by storm. And some of the feedback, some of the disingenuous takes that I've seen from people both in the media and in this community are a bit shocking to me. It's not surprising, Cork, but it is shocking because, interestingly enough, at the beginning of this week, there was a PlayStation commercial that was the most weird thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And they didn't show one game. They showed people jumping off buildings. They showed people rolling around on the floor. They showed people doing flippy flips. No games, but this is PlayStation. And somehow, no one from the gaming media was like, I'm going to be honest with you. This is the first thing we got from PlayStation in a minute. No gameplay, no additional roadmap conversation, just people flipping all over the place. No one said anything. Xbox does their commercial where they're showing games. They're showing people holding controllers and handhelds and having laptops with the Xbox logo and Black Ops on it. And somehow that's not good. Somehow This is Xbox is not a good way to sell your brand. Again, it's just clear evidence that there is a unbelievable bias or hashtag Xbox tax against the brand. Because again, if you just put both commercials up against each other, one literally does not show one single game. Not one. Buildings transforming and people rolling around all over the place. I didn't know what I was watching. But then Xbox does theirs, Cork, and it makes sense. It's showing you, hey, listen, Xbox is no longer just a box under your TV. It is a box that's now expanded to basically any device you have in your hand. Your cell phone, your tablet, your laptop, your desktop, your TV, your console, different ways to play, but at the same time, you're still playing an Xbox game. And of course, we do have the confirmation from last week that your owned games are soon going to be available across all of these platforms using cloud gaming, which is freaking awesome. Let's get your thought on one versus the other and some of the controversy out of This is an Xbox.
It's the same grifters, the same people that the doomers and everything. It's just really, really sad to see the overall messaging of This is an Xbox. Anybody that's been watching me on this show for the last few months has already seen this is the same thing I've been saying, we've been saying. Just almost every forward-thinking Xbox creator has been saying on their podcasts and on Twitter and on Blue Sky and on Threads, that it's no longer about locking yourself into an Xbox, a console. Xbox, Kay Asante and I were talking a while back in his Discord, and he brought up a good point that Xbox isn't really a hardware. They've never been a hardware company, a console company. It's always been like Microsoft, a software company. The Xbox was a means to an end to get that software to you. And the case is still true here, is that just because you have an Xbox, a console, doesn't mean that you only have to stay on that Xbox. You can go on PC now. You can go on cloud. You can go on mobile, whatever. Well, pretty soon mobile devices, things like that. They're more than just a console company, and they've been hammering that for the last couple of years now. And just for some reason, people just keep No, they're a console company. It's just flying over their head. Console company, console company. So when they do these moves that are expanding and broadening their ecosystem and making them a platform, it's just lost on people because they refuse to see Xbox as anything else than a console. And like I said, that was never ever the case. It was a means to an end. This campaign is absolutely beautiful. It's just reinforcing everything that Xbox has been saying, and it's bringing it all in together. That people, especially right before the marketing season, Black Friday, people are going to start buying. I think it's great. They're going to start seeing people where, oh wait, I can play an Xbox on my on my phone. All I need is Game Pass for $20. Things like that, especially right now. I don't know if Woot still has it, but yeah, for $29 for 3 months, they were doing sales. I re-upped like 3 or 4 months, so or 9 months or something like that. So yeah, it's just so sad to see that these people ask for this, and then when they do it, they're the first ones to be like, no, not like that. I want it like this, which is the opposite of everything that they've been saying. It's just so frustrating because that's just enjoy Xbox, enjoy playing on a platform, enjoy these consumer-friendly moves that other people aren't making in the industry. You even said it yourself. Maybe Xbox is getting a little bit ahead of the curve here, but it's a curve that's coming. Look, we're barely finding out now that the whole Xbox One DRM stuff might have been a pretty good idea with how forward the digital market is going. If we would have adopted that, we would have been able to be selling our digital library because we would have had the rights to it. That thing. It's a curve that's coming, and you don't become, Microsoft is $1 trillion company, Xbox is $1 billion. But even with Microsoft, being $1 trillion company, you don't become $1 trillion company if you don't get ahead of these curves. If you're not smart enough to see the market and how it's shifting and where it's going, Xbox is the same exact way. They see a market that is changing, that is evolving very quickly, and they're adapting to it as fast as they can to stay ahead of that curve. Meanwhile, like I said, you have PlayStation that's like, no, you can only play on PlayStation 5, and maybe we'll give you PC. And that's just so, I don't know, that's just so anti-consumer. And to force and pigeonhole somebody just into one ecosystem when we're, as gamers, we play on everything. We developers too. It's harmful to the industry. Developers want you to play their game. They don't care about consoles. They don't care about that how many console sales there are. Some have to worry about that due to what they're going to invest in. But if every developer was given the funds to release on Nintendo, to release on Xbox, PC, whatever it may be, PlayStation, they would do it because they love their game. They want people to see this art that they've created, and they want to play it. It's like a mom, watching their kids opening up their Christmas presents, at Christmas. That's what developers want. So yeah, this marketing campaign is awesome. I love Jez. Jez is such a great dude. I kind of disagree, with his point. I know it's coming out of a place of love and care, because he is a very, very passionate guy when it comes to Xbox.
Indeed. Yeah.
So I don't think he's doing it to grift. I think, his concerns are legit, but you do get some of these people out there. Again, no names. We all know who they are.
Yep. Yeah.
But they're just there just to, third party, Xbox to be like, hey, we're going to give everybody a free Xbox. Look, they have to give away free Xboxes to get them in people's houses rather than being like, hey,
yeah, exactly.
You get a free console.
This is awesome.
Yeah. So it's just the same grifters. Pay them no mind. Follow people like Boom. Follow people like Fuzzy, Silent Cypher, Mav, Pong Soul, Infinite Umbra. These Keasante. These are the voices of logic. These are the voices. This is why people, we've said it plenty of times, that the media is scared of the narratives we create because they're from fans. And that's follow these people. Those are the voices that you should be listening to.
I mean, great points all around. So listen, just for context, I have both tweets, and again, this is no slight at Jez Corden. You've heard me say this before. He is certainly, in my personal opinion, tip of spear when it comes to journalistic integrity. This is his opinion. I disagree with it, but that doesn't make him a monster or wrong. It's his opinion. So after the commercial, Jez Corden retweets something that Jeff Keighley tweeted about, which I'm actually very surprised Jeff even bothered. Jeff simply says, Xbox has announced a new ad campaign and quotes in all caps, this is an Xbox. And it shows off a bunch of things. And there's some silly things in there like, this is a cat box. This is an Xbox. This is an Xbox that you wear, meaning like the MetaQuest. I think that you are trying to appeal, Fuzzy, to a broader audience. Now, that broader audience is going to be somebody that does not currently have an Xbox, and it's probably a younger gamer that plays on their tablets, on their phone, and doesn't want an Xbox. So Jez Corden goes on to say, Xbox's new marketing reminds me of the dissonance of 2013. It's in line with the way things are trending, but misangled with its sentiment. Just seems mad, uncool, and capitulatory, which is the opposite of what marketing campaigns should be. There's nothing cool about this, LOL. And he goes on. He continues. A main issue is xCloud isn't an Xbox. Asus ROG Ally isn't an Xbox. PC isn't an Xbox. It can't run 99% of my games on this device. They couldn't be further from Xbox right now. They might be someday, but they're marketing based on plans that haven't been realized again. And, well, I mean, look, he does have a point with certain games not running on some of these devices, but they've already announced that your purchased games are going to be available via xCloud or cloud gaming. You can, when that happens, all of these devices will then, be an Xbox, but just, a portable version of it. Whether you play on your PC and you go to use a cloud gaming, you'll be able to play your game that you've purchased. If you are on your VR unit and you want to play in big picture mode, you can do that. Not something I would personally do. I have MetaQuest 3 and it's great, but I wouldn't use it for that. But that is okay. You can play on your TV. I know I every time I turn on my TV, I'm getting an Xbox ad. And I can simply go to cloud gaming with the controller that I bought from Samsung and simply press a button and I'm gaming. End of story. So, Fuzzy, before I bring you in, I want to bring in Destin Legary's tweet. And I find this to be perfect in delivery and exactly what he's trying to say. Because I personally think the commercial is brilliant. They don't need to sell me an Xbox. They don't need to sell anybody in this chat an Xbox. We have them already. Some of us have multiple Xboxes. And we know where we can play. We know that if I want to play not on a traditional Xbox and pop on my TV like my nephew loves doing, the Xbox is right there. He comes in, he goes, I want to play on cloud. I want to play cloud gaming. The novelty of it appeals to him. He's 15 years old. Kids like that stuff. But if you can appeal to this 15-year-old, maybe you can appeal to quite a bit other 15-year-olds, right? So this is what Destin had to say, Fuzzy. I think it's about time they really lean into it. I love this commercial. That the younger generation doesn't want to buy one box to play games. That's the future, whether it's wanted or it's not. And I mean, there's of course, Destin's going to get some pushback, and I don't think he deserves it on this case. I think he's 1,000% right. When you do a marketing campaign as stout as this, Fuzzy, you are not trying to appeal to the people who know and understand and already own your brand. You are trying to get the message to the mass audience who is not invested in your platform. Why? Well, there's a multitude of reasons. Maybe it's financial. Maybe it's they're casual. They're just casual gamers. But at the end of the day, when you put a commercial like this out there, someone is going to see it and be like, "Wait a second, I have a phone. I have a tablet. I don't have to buy an Xbox. Wait a second. Let me look into this." And again, is Xbox going to get 10 million new subscribers to Game Pass in the next 2 weeks? The answer is no. But it boggles my mind, Fuzzy, how people in this industry, content creators, and certain people on social media be like, yeah, that Xbox messaging sucks. And Xbox doesn't know what they're doing. They need to do more. They do something, and somehow this commercial is ultimately over criticized, and Sony's flip commercial of people not even holding a controller, not even showing a freaking game, simply just blocks moving to make the symbols of PlayStation. That seems to be the better commercial. I am unbelievably mind boggled, if you will, by some of the stupid, really just shallow commentary that I've seen from certain people in this community. I want to get your thoughts on the commercial, brother.
I think so. And I'll put it to you this way. Before I get into my analogy, the key thing is we have to all take a step back. Much like you said, this commercial isn't targeting us that already have the console. It's targeting those that are on the fence of either getting the console or looking at the ecosystem or looking at the games, and they're like, yeah, but I don't have a device to play it on. Well, this is to let them know that they probably already do. I think the problem in general, as far as not necessarily the pushback, but a lot of the perspectives, is almost like what I've experienced in the car industry. You have your diehard enthusiasts, and then you have people that look at cars as point A to B transportation. And a lot of the car enthusiasts used to hate on 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder cars when there's V8s out there. I'm more of a V8 fan myself. Love the sound, love the power, and the modability to them. But I never would hate on the 4 or 6 cylinders because those have to sell. Those have to be the mass market, and those in turn fuel the financing for better or more powerful V8 versions later on down the road. And I think us as the enthusiasts have to look at it as, since we already have the console, and that kid over there or that PlayStation player over there, they're not going to buy the Xbox because they already have some place to play. But if Microsoft can get the money from them some way, shape, or form, that will go back into the first party as far as for future games, either for the platform or more deals that they have with that $1 billion that they put towards third party for Game Pass. So we have to look at that outreach, kind of like what I think Phil said in an interview many moons ago, where it was like we could either find a way to leverage the customer base that we have by monetizing them more, basically either charging them more or nickeling and diming them on every last little thing, or we can try to reach more customers in different ways. And if those customers are already not buying the console, whether you do a $50 savings or not, then the best thing to do, because a lot of people have a phone, a lot of people have at least a decent enough laptop to use a browser, or they have a tablet, or they may already have a smart TV that's hooked to the internet. Those are your potential next customers to kind of get into the fold. Now, the only pushback I give Microsoft on this, and it's probably more so on the technical side of things, is that their cloud service isn't quite as good as, like, let's say GeForce Now, just from a smooth standpoint. And Stadia was a little bit better or smoother, flow as far as for even if you had just 8 megabyte up or down internet. So on the worst internet, xCloud isn't the greatest experience, but that's something that they definitely need to work on. Another area that they need to work on is their actual PC store. Now, I know when Jez was saying that the ROG Ally or your Windows PC isn't really an Xbox, it is. Well, it can be, depending on how far you're willing to go. I think Microsoft needs to step up a bit further and have it so either they have an easy to execute for those that are not as computer savvy, a way to turn your ROG Ally either into an Xbox, or make it so it's easy to have the Xbox app front and center. So it's just a matter of a couple of clicks and you have access to your library. I think the other big step is going to have to be that they're going to have to work with third party, because they already kind of do it themselves when it comes to their own licensing for games. But they're going to have to really work with third party for the people that are on a ROG Ally or on their PC that may already have an Xbox account from their 360 or from their Xbox One. And those games that they purchased need to be available, not in a streaming sense, but a downloadable sense. And if they can do that on a ROG Ally or Legion Go or on your favorite Windows PC, that's, I think, the next big step. Because there are a good bit of games that are dual entitlement that you'll be able to find that you purchase on your console that are readily available in your library on your PC. But there's a good majority of them that were like probably prior to 2019 that aren't like a dual entitled title. And some of them are even first party titles that they are still kind of working backwards to rectify. But when it comes to the third party, those are the ones that they really need to lean into as far as making it so the person that, you know, just purchased a MetaQuest 3, they can go ahead, use that app, the Xbox app that's on it, and, you know, access the games that they may have owned from the 360 era, or access the games that they own from the Xbox One era, or even during the series console era. So that way it's an easy transition without having to worry about, well, I can play, you know, 60% of my games, but this other 40% I can't, or whatever the case may be, depending on the type of games you purchased previously. And then I guess the other big thing is going to have to be kind of what we briefly touched on with that whole digital DRM deal. We got to figure out a way for those that were physical for the 360 era and the Xbox One era, if there is ever a way to convert those to digital. And I know that's going to be a steep wall to climb, because we still don't even technically own our digital games that we have. But they need to figure out a way, whether it's a trade-in, turn-in, you know, some sort of digital key that's on it and you break the disc or whatever. Whatever the case is, they need to figure out that, because it seems like they're going to be going for digital store or digital devices mainly moving forward. And most PCs are digital only at this point. I can't remember the last, like, you know, store purchasable PC that has a CD-ROM or DVD or Blu-ray drive.
They don't make them anymore, dude. You have to buy them secondhand. And the last game that actually was on disc was Doom Eternal.
Yep.
Like, that was actually the last one that's not what considered to be like a collector's edition. Just you go to the store and you buy it, and it's this ginormous box that's about 18 inches tall, and it's got a disc in it that's only this big. Yeah. The last, if I can remember, folks, obviously, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive the actual last disc game for PC was Doom Eternal, and that's years ago.
Now, the only exceptions are the limited run stuff.
Yeah, well, that's different. Yes, that's their specialty, though.
But yeah, you're right. Doom was pretty much the last game you could buy that was printed by the publisher and put on the store shelves and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's funny how a lot of people on the PC side have completely moved to digital years ago and don't even think twice about it. And I see a lot in the console space that are begrudgingly moving or being forced, as they see it, in that direction, where it's kind of like an inevitability. But all of that being said, love the, you know, everything is an Xbox commercial for the fact that, you know, I play on my Steam Deck. I play on my LG TV. I play on my Series X. I have a Series S for when I hit the road. Same thing with the Steam Deck. And being able to play those games at pretty much anywhere, I think is the biggest move moving forward that I really wish other platforms did. Like, I look forward to the day when their PlayStation PC store is more of a thing. We're already starting to see achievements for the PC games, or not achievements, trophies for the PC games and whatnot. So maybe some of the purchases from Steam or something like that will be able to retroactively work that way as well. But yeah, great commercial. Just people have to take a step back and realize that maybe that commercial isn't for you if you're feeling a certain type of way as a console gamer. It's for the masses that don't have that console right now.